Rosemont Dome playoffs for the 2025 Winter Dome League out here. And of course, we'll have the semis and the championship game out Wednesday. What you're about to see is 16-inch style softball, the way we do it in Chicago, which is no gloves. And the rules are pretty simple. 60-foot bases. You can lead off, but you can't steal. 38 feet from the rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc. You get 2 fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. Throw or fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitations. This is an all-turf field. Short dimensions and a short fence height-wise. 210 down the lines, 235 to dead red. Fence is only about 3.5 feet tall. We see a lot of ground rule doubles. Because of the short dimensions, you only get 4 home runs. We will be playing a 1-and-1 count. We swing heavy bats. They can weigh up to 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. And this is a clincher. It is not a mush ball. So we got the fat kids, the 5 seed playing Flashline, the 4 seed. And 2 teams have already advanced to the semifinals. Signature all over future 11-1. And Hex snuck past Iron 4-3. So Hex and Signature, the 1 and 3 seed, have advanced. So on the other diamond, you got the 45s playing March, and then here you got these 2 teams. Again, the better seed is the home team during the playoffs, so Flashline will be home, and the Fat Kids the visitors. So we got you squared away. We're ready to start here. And leading off, it's going to be Santos Macho Soto, the shortstop. Then it'll be Brandon Molina and Anthony Mysek. And last week out here, the Fat Kids lost a couple of heartbreakers in extra innings. And they were missing 3 or 4 guys that figured to be starters. And there's a little flip the other way. Coming in, Ryan Russ makes the catch. Of course, Ryan, one of the better defensive outfielders in 16-inch softball. So he came flying in there. And Matt Peckus was not here last week. Either was Eddie Barzowski. So here's Brandon Molina now. And the Fat Kids, right on schedule. They keep finding some younger kids that they're bringing along. And Brandon, a little soft flare the other way, and Julian Gutierrez right on the spot for out number 2. So that's going to bring up Anthony Mysek, also known as Noge. And a lot of times when you're playing these bigger teams and you're the lower seed, you want to get off to a good start. We saw in the game we just televised that Future came out and that hits the roof and they call it foul. Again, if the ball hits the roof in fair territory, it's live. Forgot to mention that. And it can be caught on a fly for an out. If it hits the carpet, it's all you can get. Short dimensions, you only get 4 dingers. So Wednesday we'll have the semis and the championship game. So Noach, new life, and he hits it, but right at the center fielder, a little sinking line drive, and hanging right with it there was Ian Holst, who makes the catch. So we're going to head now to the bottom of the first. No score as the Fat Kids go 1-2-3. So we did mention on the first broadcast as well that weather permitting, the championship game is going to be outdoors at the field that the Chicago Bandits used to play in. And so that's going to be nice. I believe it's 210 down the line, so whatever we put on line there, and it's 240 to center field, so slightly bigger outfield. We'll still be using the 4 home run rule outside, is what I've been told. And it'll be a nice transition as this winter session comes to a close and we'll be heading outside. So it's going to be PJ Raines, Julian Gutierrez, and Mike Manzella leading off for Flashline. And this is a combination of flashback and money line. And these are pretty much the same guys that have been coming out all year. I wondered if we were maybe going to see a surprise flashback or a surprise money line guy. Ground ball back to Angelo for out number 1. And PJ does like to use the middle of the field quite a bit. And Angelo that time jumped the hole and got a nice for out number 1. They got a few more than they had last game, Amalia. And there's a little ground ball. And Bruce makes the play. Meanwhile, a ball came rolling in from the other diamond. Patty Caputo went to retrieve it. And very fortunate there that Bruce got a mid on it, or we might have had some big chaos. So 2 up, 2 down. Here's Mike Manzella. And Mike slashes it the other way, base hit, and that'll be our first hit of the ball game. Mike Manzella going the opposite way. So the first 3 hitters in the lineup were flashback guys. Here's Jason Ganick, who does play shortstop for Moneyline.
Pitch, hand right there, hand. Keep it there. Keep it there.
So 2 outs, Manzella will be running on the swing, and Ganick hits it to center, but right on the spot making the catch there is Brandon Molina. So we've seen Brandon playing a lot of left field. He's back in center with Luke Lowry, who's been playing a lot of right field over in left field tonight. As Eddie Barzowski's here today, and Eddie is out in right field. So we're going to head to the top of the second, no score here. And if you're the Fat Kids, you'd certainly like to jump up and grab a lead, but I think what you're hoping for is just to let Flashline maybe sleep through a couple innings. So on the hill, Rob Grisano came over this year. And the one thing that Moneyline is going to have when we get to the outdoor season is they're going to have some good pitchers. And Pekka scalds it. Lane Neiman Jr. knocks it down, but he can't make a play. So Matt Pekka hit it right over the third base bag. Lane Neiman, good reaction just to get a hand on it. Molino, courtesy run. Here comes Tom Boyle. And again, you can see Brandon has that tendency sometimes to lead off in front of the base, and I just don't like it. And now there's a base hit. So Tom Boyle here, a little something going on here as the first 2 hitters reach. And that's going to bring up Bruce Lee. Brandon is 3 or 4 feet in front of first base on that leadoff. And I'm not a big fan of that. So here's Bruce Lee, and Bruce, line drive, base hit. Boyle went back to the bag, throw to second, safe. If it was an accurate throw, they might have got Boyle going to second, but throw pulled Drabel off the bag. First run scores. As Bruce Lee just hit a rocket, Boyle froze. Wasn't quite sure where Shane Lawler, the first baseman, was. And that brings up Nick Jones. First and second here. Still nobody out, one run in. And Nick, a little spinner, and that's going to be foul.
Get it out here, boys.
But I think Moneyline's pitching's going to be in good hands, as Eric Mandarino, rumor was for a while that Eric was not going to be back this year, but he did elect to come back, and they picked up Rob Grisano. And there's Nick Jones, and Robbie, like a hacky sack player, stuck the foot out. And unlike basketball, you can use your feet and not get charged. So that's a good reaction. Robbie kind of looked like a hockey goalie there. The ball stayed right there. And then he very calmly turned and threw to third. And now here's a fly ball by Feliciano. That'll be an out. And Julian, a strong arm, throws a strike right to Gannett. So after the first three hitters have reached now, nice defensive play by Grisano. And here's Eddie Barzalski. And that was the big play here in the inning. If Robbie doesn't knock that ball down on the kick, that was going to center, and this inning would have looked a lot different. And Barzalski, high fly ball, Gutierrez is there. So a lot of noise there. They only pick up one run. Big play there by Rob Grisano. Limits the damage. So it's going to be Ryan Russ, Robbie Grisano, Ryan Drabel coming up here in the bottom of the second. 1-0, Fat Kids. Again, it's win or go home now. We are in the playoffs. And of course, Saturday we'll be out in Oak Lawn for the Guaranteed Rate Affinity. The SSA Guaranteed Rate Affinity Kickoff Classic presented by Matt Dozin. And if you want to look into a mortgage or a refi, make sure you reach out to Matty. So here's Ryan Russ. Takes that ball. So the Fat Kid's doing a good job, improving every year. Finally won an SSA Glove Class A National Championship. And Ryan Russ scalds it into left. Little humpback. Leadoff man on here for Moneyline. And it brings up Rob Grisano. Of course, Rob started out with vision. I should say he started out, I believe I want to say he played with Crush, then Vision. Of course, Vision won the very first SSA Class A Glove National Championship. And Robbie, towering fly ball, going back as Lowry makes the catch, throw to second offline. As Robbie, trying to go yard, just didn't quite get enough of it. And that's the first out of the inning. So here's Ryan Drebo with his brother Nick on deck. And Robbie just missed it. And there's a little flare coming in, and that's going to drop, base hit. Eddie Barzowski fires it in. Ryan Russ had to wait. And Barzowski looked like he slipped a little bit trying to come in on it. Runner's out in the corner now. For Nick Drebo. And there's a little chopper up the middle, over to second for one. Safe at first. Second run does score. And that's going to bring up Frank Jekyll. Oops, sorry, folks. Put that run on the wrong side there. We're all knotted at one. And Frank, a little ground ball to third. Nick Jones in time, and that'll be the third out. So, new ball game as we head to the top of the third, all tied at one. Fat Kids in Flashline, excuse me. Very early here. Winner advances to the semifinals. Loser goes home. Of course, we got the bracket up, so you can see how they're going to advance. Hex did win. So they're just going to be waiting on the winner of this game. And that's who the winner of this game will get. And Signature will be waiting on the winner of the 45s and March contest going on right now. So here comes Alex Rodriguez leading off with Luke Lowry on deck. Again, Alex, one of those young players the Fat Kids are bringing along, and he draws the dreaded leadoff walk. And it brings up Lowry. And Luke, we've talked about Luke. I like his game. I think he's going to be really good. And there's a nice play there. They called him safe. And we'll take a replay look at that. It's a great play by the shortstop Ganek as he appeared to slip from the seat of his pants. And you see there on the replay, that's what the umpire, Nick Drebo, caught it. It looked like he was out. But as Nick stumbled off the bag, he dropped the ball, and apparently the umpire felt he didn't hold on. And here's Macho, hard ground ball. PJ Raines took a little bit of a chance there with the whirling 360 throw. But they do get the fielder's choice there. That was a high-risk play by PJ, but he made the good throw, you can see. And they just get him, and that's another example, kids, where if you're a base runner and you slide in there, you might be safe. You could see there on the replay, the runner was slowing down as he approached the base. Runner's on the corner now with one out for Brandon Molina. And this would be the time, with two on, you might want to use one of your home runs. And Brandon certainly got enough pop.
Good, you're good. He's way off. Wants him to catch it. You're good. There we go. No way! No way!
And Robbie, not too happy. Umpire says no. A little too high, too deep. And Molina, towering, does not hit a roof. Coming in is Russ. And Rodriguez makes it home. Good tag there by Soto. He gets into scoring position. And it brings up Noach. And Noach, one of those guys that also has a lot of pop, a little inconsistent at times. And there's the second walk of the inning. The first walk already has scored. And now with 2 on, Matt Peckus. And you don't want to flatten out to this guy. And Robbie called that a strike.
No one here.
Robbie way off the rubber. Peckus, though, hits a screamer into the gap. Another run scores. So Robbie Gusano got lucky. He got that first strike. Then he went way to the right off of the rubber. Did not want Matt to get his arms out, but Matt just guided that into left center. Brings up Boyle. Still 2 runners on. And Tom Boyle hard down the line. Fair ball, 1 run is in. Stand-up double. Boyle 2 for 2 in the ball game. 4-1 ball game. 2 more ducks on the pond, and here's Bruce Lee. Matt Dozen going to try to slow things down. Again, we are live from Rosemont. Playoff action here. Right now, the 5 seed leading the 4 seed 4-1. That's going to bring up Bruce Lee. So with 2 outs, the runners are going to be going.
Hey, back, time.
So Robbie tried to pick off there, but Boyle got back.
Good, Tommy. Give me another one, Tommy. No one there.
And Bruce goes, but hits it right at Ian Holst. And that's going to be the 3rd out, but Fat Kids do push 3 across. And they reclaim the lead here at 4-1. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 3rd. It's going to be Shane Lawler, Lane Neiman Jr., and Ian Holst. For Flashline. And of course, we're less than a month out now for the Westchester TOC. How about that, folks? As we're grinding away toward kicking off the Chicago Summer Series. You can see the logo in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. We started it last year. We created kind of an umbrella for the 5 big tournaments, kept stats for them, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. We'll have a few more announcements before the Summer Series kicks off. Shane Lawler goes hard to right, and Barzowski backpedaling makes the catch. So Shane hit that ball on the screws, a little too much top hand. And the ball sunk. Brings up Lane Neiman Jr. And Lane swings. That ball's hit deep, not deep enough though. As Luke Lowry cruised over. So we've seen a few guys trying to go out, even though these are short dimensions, and just haven't been able to do it. Here's Ian Holst. Used to tell my guys, when you get into a shorter facility, for example, back in the day when a lot of softball used to be out in Marshalltown, Iowa, and Marshalltown's got 255 fences, which by our standards here in Chicago, very short. I used to tell my guys, don't try to hit it out, just, use your natural swing. And if you barrel up on your natural swing and you're a guy that should hit the ball better than 255, it'll go. And there's a little pop-up. So Flashline 1, 2, 3. And we're going to head to the top of the fourth. And the funny thing is even though 255 are short dimensions for high level and major level 16-inch softball, it's amazing.
Tomorrow night, Lewis and Loyola men's volleyball.
No, I thought it was Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, Wednesday.
Yeah. Which,
I don't think I can go.
well, it's the playoffs here. Bob Rush Jr., a Lewis alum. Loyola, of course, has had a very good men's volleyball program. Here's Nick Jones leading off. And Nick scalds one fair down the line into the corner. And that's going to be a long, hard single. So Loyola a couple years ago, a few years back, won back-to-back national championships in volleyball, and Lewis, excellent volleyball program. Loyola ranked 6th in the country, so they're hosting the conference playoffs. If Loyola wins, you want to go? Oh, we can't. We got Maddie's tournament. Little ground ball. Oh boy! So trouble of brewing here. As Angelo trying to go the opposite way, Shane got a hand on it. Ball dribbled past PJ Raines. First two hitters on. Here's Eddie Barzowski. So Fat Kid's 3-run lead.
Behind you, Nick, he's there.
I was going to ask Junior if he wanted to go Saturday if Loyola won. And there's a flip by Barzowski, but it's foul. Go see maybe Loyola win a conference championship, or conversely, if Lewis would have won, they would have had a shot at it because the winner there would go to the NCAA tournament. In fact, the one national championship Loyola won, I know I'm digressing, they actually hosted the volleyball Final Four that one year.
Good? You're good?
So new reset here for Barzowski. First two hitters reached. And Barzowski line drive, this is going to be an easy double play. Nick Jones runs himself into a double play there. And we'll show you the replay on that is Nick was practically shaking hands with him by the time he caught this line drive. So here comes Alex Rodriguez back to Rob Grisano. So big double play there. Buries the inning. And halfway through, 4-1, Fat Kids. And again, Nick has been around a long time, and he should know better than to be off and running on the swing. As that line drive turns into an easy double play.
We got our 16 teams, Gio.
Nice. Matty Dozen just informing me that they did get the 16 teams.
We had our first round draw earlier today, so I informed all the captains who they're playing in the first round, so they all know. Times will be out tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest.
So the times will be out for that either tomorrow or Wednesday. They did the draw. Top of the lineup, PJ Raines here for Flashline, and of course we will post the official bracket. And we'll get that out after Matty gets it to me. We'll doctor it up, make it look pretty. And there's PJ. Rodriguez took it in the bread basket, and they called him out. We'll show you the replay. Bang, bang over here. PJ Raines scalded it. Rodriguez stayed with it. And I think that Fat Kids may have caught a break there. Here's Julian Gutierrez. PJ Raines can scoop. Yeah, Billy Lane Neiman Jr. is a nice kid, and Julian turns on that, hits a humpback, big aggressive turn. He'll come back. So Julian Gutierrez sat back and just pulled a humpback. Brings up Mike Manzella. One out, runner on.
Good. One out.
And Mike has more than enough to get out of here.
Coming up.
And there he just rockets it right to Rodriguez. And both teams hit into line drive double plays here in the fourth. As that ball was absolutely blistered, but right at Rodriguez. And I tell you, he picked it real easy. So we're going to head now to the fifth. Fat Kids leading by 3. And if I was the Fat Kids, I would not be overly comfortable with a 3-run lead here in the Dome, as Flashline does got several players who can go yard. So it's going to be 11-1-2. Nick Lowry, Macho Soto, and Brandon Molina. And Lowry strokes a base hit in front of Holst. Yeah, I like his game. He's a very athletic outfielder. We've seen him play all 3 outfield positions. It just seems like I sound like a broken record, but every time I see him, he looks like his offense is coming fast. So here's Macho. Macho off of Robbie Grisano, and they call him out at second, and we'll show you the replay on that. That was actually Rob Grisano kicked this ball. Nick Drabel got it and flipped it to Ganek, and I think he was out. The only question was Ganek on the bag? Umpire felt he was. So that's a 110-6 on the fielder's choice at second. And here's Molina now, runner on first. And Brandon's got a lot of pop, but the last few times we saw him, he's just hitting everything in the air. Got to take a look at his swing. I got a feeling he's not loading his hands. It just seems like he's pushing everything from a static position. Here's Noach, and Noach, a little knuckleball, and Ryan Ross had to go down to a knee as that ball was dancing. But we go to the bottom of the fifth, same score.
I thought it was tumbling.
So after, I tell you, the Fat Kids have been getting some people on base. but they just had a couple of base running gaffes and just can't really do much. But then again, neither team is. Both pitchers doing a good job. So it's going to be 4, 5, 6. Jason Ganick, Ryan Russ, and Rod Grisano.
Wow. Knocked you out, huh?
And Grisano tried to go yard last time, just missed it. And Ganick rifles a hit toward the alley. Molina cuts it off.
Hey, get up for Robbie, let's go.
And here comes Ryan Russ, and you betcha Robbie Grisano would love to see a couple of base runners on base when he stepped in there.
And straight back, Ash.
And Ryan goes big down that line and short hops the wall. It'll stay in. Ganick will stop. And that's okay. You got nobody out, second and third. 2-run homer would have been nice, but now they still got that homer in the bank.
Come on, Rob.
And let's see what Grisano does here. He may try to tie this thing up with one swing.
Robbie, need ya.
And Robbie doesn't mind the ball upstairs because he does have a tomahawk swing. And that ball didn't quite get it high enough, and it's out. So Grisano off the tip of the fingers ties us up at 4. And again, Lowry got there. I think he might have just mistimed the jump because the ball went off of his fingers.
I thought it was going on the back wall.
And he didn't seem too happy with himself. So first 3 hitters reached, they all score. Reset now with nobody on base and Ryan Drebo. And Ryan, a little ground ball, Tom Boyle makes the play for out number 1. And again, the Fat Kids have had a couple of innings where they had a couple of base runners, but couldn't really take advantage, hit into a couple of double plays. And here's Nick Drabel, and he goes opposite field, and Barzowski puts it away for out number 2.
Come on, Frankie.
And this will bring up Frankie.
Hey, that's for 2. That's for 2.
So Frank Jekyll up now. Looked like he was trying to cut. And there he scalds one past Nick Jones. So 2-out base hit for Frank Jekyll.
Frankie, you're wheeling, Frankie.
And it brings up Shane Lawler. So Flashline been pretty quiet up until this inning. Got a couple of base hits and a big fly from Rod Grisano.
8 feet, 5 feet, on the base.
And Shane Lawler punches it the other way, Macho Soto, and that'll do it. But a big 3-spot. Flashline ties the game. And we're going to head to the top of the 6th. All tied.
What about the arm so much for defense?
Again, the winner is going to come back and play on Wednesday against Hex. So it's going to be Matt Peckus, Tom Boyle, and Bruce Lee. Let's see if Matt doesn't try to untie this thing. And that ball is going to not hit the roof, and it is way up and out. And Matt Peckus, of course, earlier in the ball game, there were 2 runners on. Robbie snuck a strike on him and did a good job at that time. Left that out over the plate a little bit. And Matt hit that about as high as you can without hitting the roof, and it got out. So here's Tom Boyle. And Boyle goes up the elevator shaft. Nick Drabel danced with it a little, but he put it away. First time they've retired Boyle tonight. And they'll bring up Bruce Lee.
Lane. How your son?
Heads up, Lane.
So got a good one brewing, but again, if you're the Fat Kids, you don't have the hammer, and Bruce Lee gets his second hit of the ball game. Tom Boyle will jump on and run for him. Brings up Nick Jones. So if you're the Fat Kids, you know, I used to tell my hitters at times, you want to do things the right way, but at times you got to get greedy, and this is greedy time here. You need to score more runs. Angelo Feliciano on deck. And there's a little poke. Gutierrez will make the play.
Get out of here. Like you again, Julian.
Last time.
So 2 outs. Here's Angelo Feliciano.
PJ, you got time, PJ.
Eddie Barzowski on deck. Now Boyle will be running with 2 outs here. And Feliciano just slaps it up the middle, and good job by Ian Holst. He charged that ball aggressively, kept Boyle from making the turn.
Outfield, not too deep. Come up throwing here.
And it brings up Eddie Barzowski.
Hey, Tommy, 2 outs, right?
And they're actually waving the outfield in, which is always dangerous on turf. And Barzowski, little soft fly ball. Holst comes in and makes the catch. In the inning, the Fat Kids reclaim the lead. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. 5-4. Fat Kids. So Lane Neiman Jr., Ian Holst on the top.
Come on, Lane.
And the Fat Kids will have 10 and 11. Then 1 coming up in the 7th.
You could have played for ice. Hey, you could have played for ice. You would have been a 3rd for ice then.
So the thing with the Flashline lineup, Lane's certainly strong enough to go yard. It's not really Ian Holst's game, and that ball is scalded right at Molina. And that ball was knuckling a little bit, but we've talked about Brandon Molina as an outfielder, just silky smooth out there. So ideally, if you're the Fat Kids, you'd like to get out of here 1, 2, 3, because you got some road graders coming up in the 7th, and there's a little ground ball. And Angelo Feliciano right where he should be, kids. So if you're out there and you're a pitcher, this is how it's done in terms of getting over here and covering the base. Key thing is here, you can't turn into a spectator, and you can see Angelo right away. No hesitation. The minute that ball was hit to the left side,
DJ, let's go. You and Julian.
Angelo took the right angle and got there. So here's Raines, ground ball up the middle. Rodriguez from his knees, not in time. Heck of a play there by Alex Rodriguez. And he almost came up with a highlight reel defensive play, but Petey Raines runs well, and he beat it out. So here's Gutierrez. Don't be surprised if Julian doesn't try to juice something out of here. And he pounds it off a Boyle. And the ball on the deflection rolled into left center. We're all tied up. So crazy deflection. Tom Boyle dove for it, but you can see he pushed it right into the alley. And we're all tied up at 5. 2 outs for Manzella. And they're going to walk Manzella. And this is pick your poison. Of course, Michael has got enough to go, but so does Ganek. I've seen Ganek have a game out here where he hit 2 out. And if you're Angelo, you can't flatten out on the inner part of the plate because this kid can turn and burn.
You're good. Good. Go.
And Ganek, the Malouk lives as he pops up to. And again, that's a situation there in this small park. You'd like to see Jason maybe concentrate on getting out around in front of something and pulling it. So do or die 7th for both clubs. We're tied at 5, coming down to the wire. Caputo's been through 10,000 of these. He's not nervous. Not every time. But most of the time. I give Patty that. One of the best managers the game's ever seen. We may have to start a petition to get the Hall of Fame to change their rules. Right now they got some crazy rule. You can only go in under one category. So Patty, who's in as a player, has probably won more and done more as a manager than just about anybody in the game.
Come on, Robbie. Here we go, Robbie.
So here's Alex Rodriguez leading off.
Here we go.
So the 2 Jackrabbits need to get on here. And there's a little roller, Drabel, pitch and catch for out number 1. Because coming up in the last inning, it's going to be Ryan Russ, Rob Grisano, and Ryan Drabel. And the guy you don't want to see up is Rob Grisano, who's already left the park once. In a tie game, he'd be the game winner. And then it would be interesting to see if the Fat Kids would actually pitch to him or not. Because he's the second scheduled hitter. It's hard to put the winning run on if it's a tie ball game with only 1 out. But stranger things have happened. And again, this is an odd park. So there's a little ground ball bobbled by Neiman. He can't make the play, and Lowry. Good wheels aboard. And now they're at the top of the lineup with Macho Soto and Brandon Molina with 1 out. Of course, with Macho being a left-handed hitter, going to be tough to double him on a ground ball. And Soto does hit it, and he sneaks it past Raines. Lowry's going to get to third. Runners on the corner. Macho Soto just pulled it hard between first and second. And Lowry was flying, easily making it to third on this.
Julian, help him
So that's going to bring up Brandon Molina. I'm going to have to take a look at Brandon's swing here. And he goes high, and that scrapes the roof, and now Ryan Ross. It's going to be close play at second, but Soto makes it. Fat Kids take the lead. Again, that's an example. Neither Ganick or Drabel followed that fly ball out there. Hit the roof, left the bat. Ryan took his drop step as that ball looked like it was going to get at least to the fence. And here's Noach. And Noach goes high, deep, off the roof. Ryan Russ in front of the foul pole. That ball scraped the roof, or it would have been gone. Ryan Russ somehow stayed with it and made the catch. What concentration by Ryan Russ. Junior, Bob Russ Jr. with his patent that there's only two of us that make that catch. And they're going to walk Peckus. They want nothing to do with him, and that's going to load the bases for Tommy Boyle. 2 outs, bases loaded, 6-5, top of the 7th inning here. And they're going to walk here. And Tom Boyle, and I tell you, they're not playing him that deep. If Tommy hits a line drive in the gap with Luke as the courtesy, he's going to clear the bases on a stretch single. And he goes hard, and Russ going back is going to make the catch. Right size, wrong shape. If he hits it to an alley, it's trouble. But he hit it straight away left field. And even though Ryan Russ was playing him a little shallow, he got there no problem. So leading off here in the bottom of the 7th, do or die. They need a run to extend the game. 2 walks them off. Anything less, and the Fat Kids will be moving on to play Hex. So Ryan Russ, Rob Grisano, and Ryan Drabel. And Ryan may be the most important hitter here because the best pure home run hitter that Flashline's got coming up this inning would be Rob Grisano. And guaranteed, if Ryan Russ gets on, I'd be shocked if Grisano didn't try to leave the yard. Now, if Ryan should get a double, they would probably walk. And there's a screaming knuckleball, and Ryan Russ is on, and now he's going to go take it. Tying run at second, nobody out. Ryan Russ has turned and burned and hit a wicked humpback. If you're the Fat Kids, at this point, you got to think to yourself, just grab 3 outs. If they tie the game, you live to fight another inning. Here's a timeout, and they're going to talk about this. Question is, do you put Robbie on, maybe set up a double play ball? But you would be putting the winning run on first. And if they courtesy run for Robbie, it would be Jason Ganick. And no, Gibbs is not pinch running.
Come on, Robbie. You got a 100 hitter talking to Robbie right now. What the fuck is he doing? That might be.
Bob Russ Jr. having a little fun. He says Patty was talking to him. And here comes Ganick. So nobody out. If you're Ryan Drabel, you want to try to Now they do a lot of pickoffs.
Line or get through. You're not the important one.
And there it is. You saw it right in your living room. And Drebo, little fly ball. That ball is back, and it's caught by Lowry up against the fence, and he guns it in. Luke Lowry earlier, when Grisano hit his home run, got to the fence, couldn't make the catch. He made that one. Both runners tag. You got one out here. You got to walk Nick because the winning run is at second. There's no reason here with one out to pitch the Drebo. Should be walking him to set up a force and a double. They do. And now the game is on Shane Lawler's bat in the batter, or Frank Jekyll, I should say. Now, if you're an infielder, you got to know what you're doing. Back to Angelo. He may be going home for the fielder's choice.
You don't mean anything.
Frank hits a fly ball. He can tie the game, and then Shane Lawler would be up. If you're the Flashline crew, job one is tie the game. And Frank Jekyll has tied it way back, and that is a grand slam! A walk-off grand slam by Frank Jekyll. And Flashline will advance to the game. They end up winning 9-6. And I'm a little late there, but Frank Jekyll goes yard, and they walk off the Fat Kids 9-6 in the bottom of the seventh. Holy mackerel, playoff softball, you gotta love it. So we got one matchup set, as we will have Flashline playing Hex Wednesday at 8 p.m. And Signature was going to get the winner of the 45s. And March. And that game looks like it's over down there. Not sure who won. So we hope you enjoyed the coverage. We'll see you all on Wednesday right here in Rosemont. On behalf of the SSA, Sweet Buzz, this is Gio saying thanks for